I have never been a fast runner. Growing up, running was never something I'd wanted to do in gym class. I'd always been particularly lazy. For example, whenever we were playing tag, and someone was chasing me, I'd always just give up when I got tired and I'd just let them tag me. And then, when I had to tag other people, I would run after them for a little while. But then give up when I couldn't catch them. It was just too much work for something so useless to me. I would always be the first one in a game of tag. Because it was an easy win if I was tagged first. It would have been a miracle if I had gotten anyone after I had been it. Everyone who's ever known me knows I'm not athletic at all and I will never be. Fast forward to yesterday, my older sister had convinced me to stop doing my homework for a little while, so we could go on a short walk on a trail. After all, it wasn't too hot out like it was all summer. It was finally beginning to cool down, she had said. I reluctantly obliged, seeing as I knew she wouldn't stop asking until I went. Besides, the sooner I go, the sooner I could come back and finish my project. Everyone's happy, right? After I grudgingly put on a light army jacket and changed out of my comfortable pumpkin-themed pajama pants into black leggings, we walked out of my apartment and headed for the short forest trail near my place. The first thing I noticed when we walked out was that it was beginning to get dark. It was around 6:45 and the sun was about to set. I felt a little uneasy about going outside when it was dark. You never know what type of weirdos are out in the forest at night. But I assured myself that I lived in a pretty safe area. There was elementary schools and a high school walking distance away from my apartment. What's the worst that could happen anyway? When we started to walk the trail, I noticed something odd. There was nobody there. This was a pretty popular trail. Usually you would see people walking their dogs, a couple walking together, someone jogging, or a group of teenagers laughing together. But there was nothing, nobody. I told my sister about this, but she just rolled her eyes and mumbled something, accusing me of trying to get out of walking. I just took a deep breath and walked faster to keep up with her. We walked for about 5 minutes after that, gossiping and laughing about old memories. We had been laughing really hard at a joke I had told her that I heard at school when all of a sudden she stopped laughing and looked off into the right side of the now pitch-black forest. I, still giggling, thought she was pranking me, as this seemed like the type of practical joke she would pull. After a while of looking at her seemingly shocked expression, I shoved her lightly and told her to knock it off. It's not funny anymore. The shove must have taken her out of her shocked state, because she jumped a little bit and pulled me into the left side of the trail, into the forest. I was confused and scared when I asked her what the hell was going on. I swear to God, I will never forget what my sister had said. I saw a fucking clown. We need to get out of here now. Right after she had said that, we both heard a loud, cackling laugh. I looked back at the trail for a second and I saw a figure with bright red hair and a large painted-on smile. What had really unsettled me was the lack of the red nose and the giant metal baseball bat in its hand. I looked back at my sister, and I had noticed silent, mascara-filled tears streaking her face. Only then had I noticed I was crying as well. Remember when I said that I hated running? Well, that was what I now had to do to survive. I turned to my sister, and I mouthed, "Run," to her. She nodded and didn't hesitate a second to start sprinting out of the woods, me right behind her. I just remember thinking how tired I was, and how I really just wanted to stop and take a break. Whatever happens, happens. but the sound of heavy footsteps behind me motivated me to push harder and faster. I was moving so fast that some of the tears that had leaked out of my eyes were going towards the side of my face. I was so tired, and all I could think about was stopping, and I almost did. But then I realized that this isn't some game of tag, this is my life. If I stopped, I would most likely die or be seriously injured. If I kept running, I could survive. I could tell my grandkids the story of how I almost died. I could live, so I kept moving my feet as fast as I could. Soon enough, we saw a store and I used the last of my energy and pushed myself towards the store, where I had seen my sister go in just seconds before. When I got inside of the store, I fell to the ground in exhaustion. After catching our breath, we tell the cashier to call the police. After the police ask us some questions, they drive us home. The last thing I heard before passing out was they're lucky. We found 2 more bodies out really far in the trails. The next thing I know, I wake up the next day and I'm writing my story. I'm sorry if this isn't the scary story you were looking for here, but this is my experience. And this is probably the scariest thing that will ever happen in my life. And if I learned anything from this experience, it's that you should always follow your first instincts.
Ha 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 ha.